Welcome to the January 31st, 2020 video version of the Wagner Daily. My name is Rick Petticelli, and as usual, once a week, this video replaces the written commentary portion of our normal report, and hopefully it also serves as a nice change of pace, as well as offer some insight as to how we set up our charts, what timeframes and indicators we use. In this video, we're going to run through a few broad market averages, then get into open positions in the model portfolio, and finally we'll go over a few potential setups for the next few days. In after hours trading, QQQ and SPY were up over, this is QQQ, almost 1% higher. SPY was about 0.3% higher. And this was caused by a bullish reaction to earnings in Amazon, which as you can see here is at least 8% below the 52-week high and an all-time high as of Thursday's close. But after releasing earnings, it went up as high as 2130 and pulled back into 2054. So if we're looking on the weekly chart, it spiked as high as 2134 and closed around 2054, which is right around here. If this holds, this will be a breakaway gap up to all-time new highs after a year's worth of basing action in a market-leading stock, and basically the biggest stock in the market. So this would be an unbelievably bullish sign for the market. So back to QQQ. So what we're looking at prior to the after-hours move was if the price action can get above the high of 129, that's a bullish sign. At this point, you know, this is pretty bullish price action so far from this nasty gap down. So even if the price did stall at the prior high and chopped around for a week or two, that would still be fine. Anything can happen around this area as long as it holds above the 20-day EMA here. It's perfectly fine. S&P 500 ETF SPY is trading at 328.50. Well, that was the last close in the after hours. So that would put it around Wednesday's high. So if it can climb above Wednesday's high and hold, that would be a bullish sign, as it would be back above the 5-day MA, 10-day MA, and the 20-day EMA. And IWM had a bullish recovery today, the small cap Russell. This is just a really bullish sign here. A breakdown beneath the prior low, bullish recovery. If it can get back above Thursday's high, it will also reclaim the 50 MA. And if it can break this downtrend line, that would be another positive. So so far so good. And I'd also like to point out FFTY, which is the IBD 50, represents growth stocks, which is what we prefer to trade in this newsletter. And we see the nasty gap down, reversed off the 50, and then a bull flag like consolidation so far. And if it can chop around here for a day or two, or maybe even just take off tomorrow and rip through that Wednesday high, that would be a bullish sign. On to open positions. We are still long SC from an entry closer to 38, up about 17% so far. Still holding above the 10 MA or 9 EMA, whatever you want to use is fine. TDOC, we are long from an entry around 85.92. Continues to push higher. Good volume to the past 2 days. Moving to new swing highs and all-time highs. Positive sign there. And YNDX, we're long from around this pullback here on 1217. Still trending higher above the rising 20-day EMA, so nothing to do here. And since we have a decent price buffer, if the price action remains strong heading into the 214 earnings report, we'll likely hold through earnings. All right, on to potential setups for the next few days. PayPal. We have a longer cup with handle-like pattern here. Here's the cup, here's the handle. The handle's about 6% in width. We have a bullish reversal off the 20 and another bullish reversal on Thursday. If the price can clear Tuesday's high, that's a potential buy entry right there with the stop beneath this week's low, which is about 4% away. Snap is looking pretty good. It cleared the highs of this nice cup pattern here. Not much of a handle though. And so far is holding above the rising 10-day MA. We were looking for a pullback to the 20-day EMA to establish a buy entry, but at this point it looks like Snap could possibly hold up around the 9, and with earnings on 2/4, may not give us a chance to enter before then. So for those who are aggressive, you may want to enter around the 9-day EMA here and just put a stop beneath the 20, which would be about 4 to 5% away, looking to hold the position through earnings. Team is looking pretty good. It's right at the prior high here. So far stalled and hasn't been able to punch through the prior high, but it hasn't had a lot of help from the market. So if you think about what it's done since the market sold off this week, it's showing a ton of relative strength, so that's a positive sign. A few days ago, we mentioned this is a entry point above the inside day high on in our chat room. I think it can be added to above Thursday's high around 152, or if not already long, that could serve as an entry point. And for more of a swing trade, there's Smile Direct Club, which is still trading in a pretty tight range. If it can get above this 1430 area, it could become an explosive mover. And DXCM looks pretty strong here too, tightening up over the past few weeks. A move through the 240-50 area looks like it could rip, and this is just a really tight consolidation here above the rising 20-day EMA. DOCU is not really buyable right here, but we love this move out. What we'd like to see is a 2 to 3 day pause here, which would give it a bull flag type look. There's nothing to say it's going to do that though. Earnings aren't until 3/12, so it could continue to rally without much of a pause at all. The same goes for DDOG, although earnings are approaching. If it does pause for 1 or 2 days here, something around this area right here, that would set up a bull flag type look, and we'd look to purchase over the 2 or 3 bar high. Plan is looking pretty good too. Here's the setup on the weekly. Here's the higher lows in place, higher highs. Decent handle has formed in this area here. You can see on the chart, on the daily chart over here. Here's the handle. So if it can get back above this 59.50 area, that would be great. And also, if it has another day or two sideways, it might be buyable over this 58.50 level. You might not have to wait for 59.50. All right, thanks for joining me. We'll see you next week.